I think with all supernatural films you want the sense that, is it real? You know, it's things that are seen in the corner of the eye and on the edge of the frame, and you should always have that sense of, is it actually happening, is it real, or is it in the imagination?
There'll be, you know, these huge big wide shots, and somewhere in there she will be there.
It's quite emotional, some of it, and other times it's very, very cold.
Hello, Web. Do you like scary movies? If so, you've come to the right place. We've got ghostly footprints on the floor, we've got terrifying toys, and we've got bloody graffiti on the walls. No, we haven't come to Neverland. This is a set of James Watkins' Woman in Black, a return to old school horror starring Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. I wasn't shuddering at Daniel Radcliffe. I'm not scared of Daniel Radcliffe.
So, you're from London, trying to sell Eel Marsh House.
Yes.
You won't find a local buyer. The sooner the house is sold, the sooner people can move on.
What's happening in today's scene?
Today, Dan walks into a nursery in the old house and sees an image of and then he gets chased by various apparitions around the house. or at least thinks he is.
Well, the film may be called The Woman in Black, but it's really a starring vehicle for one man. He's gone from Harry Potter to Harry Potter. And Harry Potter, and Harry Potter, and Harry Potter, and Harry Potter, and Harry Potter. Oh, and one more Harry Potter. But now Daniel Radcliffe is striking out on his own as spook solicitor Arthur Kipps. Arthur Kipps.
Arthur is somebody who's been completely destroyed by the death of his wife, and having lost her so young, you know, it has disconnected him from the world. He feels, you know, completely detached from all of his work colleagues, you know, his son. Everything in the world is sort of, you know, a shade of what it was before Stella died.
The role of Arthur Kipps is a huge role, but it's a young man. It's not an old boy. It's a young man, and Daniel is just exactly at that right age. We're coming out of where he's been to play this young man who's starting a new life with a little child back at home. I mean, it's perfect.
It's the real return of Hammer, because this feels like a Hammer film.
Yes.
Does it feel like
absolutely? No, it does. It totally does. I mean, Hammer is something that's got such a rich heritage in Britain for the most part, and then kind of went a bit weird in the 70s. But you know, it's kind of it's a real thrill to be. You sort of feel like I'm following in the footsteps of Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. So it's sort of like it's a nice sort of link between them.
Has 8 years of being scared by things that aren't there prepared you for this?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. Somebody said to me the other day, "Is it weird, you know, reacting to stuff that's, you know, not necessarily there?" And I was like, Jesus, having no knowledge of my previous work. I think it is, you know, all that sort of visual effects stuff that I've been doing for the last while has sort of set me in very good stead for the rest of my career. But in fact, here, what's interesting is that, you know, it's not that I'm, you know, on Potter I would have been reacting to something that wasn't there, but would be. Whereas in this, I'm reacting to something that, well, apart from today, normally it's something that isn't there and won't be in the film. It's something that might be behind a door, or you know, a noise coming from upstairs. You know.
Have you got it down to a fine art? You know, today are you deploying Scared Face 5A?
Yeah.
Is that different from Scared Face 3B?
Yeah, I've got like a Dulux panel thing of just like a swatch of my expressions.
How difficult is it to scare audiences these days? They're so attuned to the rhythms of horror films. They're waiting for a jump scare. They're waiting for something to come in from the left side of the frame.
Yeah. I guess you'll find out. I think with any sort of film where you have a monster, the more you withhold, the better. So Alien, I think, is obviously the best example. It's just withhold, see fleeting glimpses. That's what we've tried to do, just have glimpses of her, half seen, withholding her, and just trying to make people build on those tiny little fragments which they see.
I was having a conversation with somebody recently who saw Paranormal Activity 2, and I haven't seen either of those films, but they said something really, really irritating. They said, oh yeah, I went and saw it. It was really boring. There was nothing happened for the first 45 minutes. And I just went, but that's what suspense is. Like, that's the nature of it. What I love about James is that, you know, if you look at Eden Lake, it's like it's like Ken Loach directing a horror movie. It's got that horror aspect to it, but it's actually got social realism and stuff. And I'm about to be dragged away, but I will come back to you here as soon as I can. You know, it's the fact that James has the ability to not just see things as a genre film. It's, you know, it's more than that. It's a film about loss and about family and the different ways people deal with death. And you know, it's a character-driven horror film.
The sets are fantastic. I mean, I knew from day one, the first day we went up to Peterborough, and they were shooting an exterior of Eel Marsh House. It's the big Gothic exterior, and it looked extraordinary. And then I realised there should be pictures, and said, oh, the house wasn't like that at all, that it had all been dressed. And wherever we've been, and just in the set there today, which I'm only in for 2 days, just the upstairs of the house, every room, there's something to discover. I mean, the detail that they put into it, and everywhere you look, for actors who go in and they just want to go out, we're waiting, you're like, wow, that's amazing, what's in there? And then it leads you down somewhere else, and then you're in a place, you know, you're genuinely in a place, and that's just great art direction.
Are you a horror nut?
I'm not, you know, I'm not at all. I was always far too scared by it, so I couldn't see it. The irony is that if I wasn't in this film, I probably would have been too scared to actually go myself and see it.
Are you more influenced by things like The Innocents and movies like that?
The Innocents, absolutely, and recently fantastic films like The Others and The Orphanage. But it's interesting, there hasn't been a really great British ghost story for quite a long time, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, that's it from our exclusive The Woman in Black Fiddy bloggy, so join us next time for more scary film. Oh, that's weird. I don't know, I've just got this weird feeling and I'm being watched!
Do you want to get a cup of tea?
Yeah, actually that'd be alright.
Come on then.
See you next time.
And it can be, that did not sound good at all.
Hopefully it was meant to sound like that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. That's a woman hanging herself, actually.